You're listening to the PR Wind Down Podcast, the show for public relations professionals who are ready to see real change in the PR industry. We are your hosts, April White and Laura Schooler. Let's get ready to wind down.
How many cats do you have now?
Well, I was laughing to myself. I'm like, Laura's going to get on this podcast and say, I always make a joke that April has a new animal every week. And then I have a new animal.
It's so funny. I have the same animal. My cat, a few weeks ago, I was like petting her and I was like, oh my God, there's like scabs and all inside her fur, all over. And I was like, is this a skin problem or like...
Has she been scratching herself?
Well, her nails are like, you know, it's like Hugh Jackman and my cat. We could get in a duel to the death because I can't cut her nails because she won't let me anywhere near her. So she's got like, and so when she scratches herself, she like literally is like Freddy Kruegering her own body.
I don't have those kind of cats.
My cat's crazy, but
your cat is crazy.
She's better now. So like they're all gone now. They're healed.
That's wild.
It was kind of like gross and weird. Yeah.
It sounds gross and weird.
Your cat is not at all like mine.
I was like, no, he's like this. Look how sweet he is. He's like in a ball purring.
There's this kid that I found on Instagram, I guess. I don't know the kid's name, but his cat's name is Sir Pounce.
That's adorable.
Isn't that funny? And then he's got two other cats. And so you always see like the two other cats like sitting on a shelf in the background. But he's always there with Sir Pounce, who's this giant black and white cat. And Sir Pounce is so mean and pissed off. And the kid does something like, you know, what to do if you have a very angry cat. And then like he starts petting the cat and the cat starts growling and then goes after him and starts like eating his hand. This kid, it's like a 15-year-old kid eating this kid's hand. And he picks him. He's like, Sir Pounce. It's hilarious. And then the cat goes, like, it's like, and I was like, that's like my cat. Sometimes if I pick up my cat and she's nice, and then as soon as I put her down, she whips around and hisses and tries to kill me.
I think you need me to recruit your next cat. I have like this weird track record of always getting the nicest cats.
Anyway, you might
I would say law of attraction, but then that sets you up to look like a hissing monster.
Maybe it's just a lesson I have to learn.
Oh, it's so sad.
I know. She's okay. I wish I was as sure of myself as my cat is sure of herself.
Maybe you are deep down. Maybe it is law of attraction. Then it's serving its purpose.
Sir Pounce.
Sir Pounce. That is so cute. Should we move on to our news story, Laura?
Yes.
You pick it, Laura. I kind of picked the last one.
I saw this story that in Detroit, you can text a reporter and get a problem solved. So that to me, I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, what if like thousands of people write in, right? Who like, are they staffed for this? But anyway, that's to me seems like a real direct way to know their community, right?
And a value add to hopefully keep the newspaper afloat. So that's interesting because we were
right. But how are they monetizing it? And how, like I said, what if they have 10,000 people writing every week? How are they paying for the staff?
It's on the website.
Text Outlier Media.
It's an SMF service that delivers critical information for people in Detroit and allows them to talk directly to a reporter at Outlier Media. You can get housing, utilities, and other essential information in Detroit automatically. You can also use the service to talk to a reporter directly about a question or issue you're having when you need other information. That is really interesting.
So it looks like Outlier Media is a independent company that maybe they've partnered with or hired.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they're staffing and doing this. Does that sound like what this is? And you can donate to them.
Yeah. So citizens in Detroit, you just text the word Detroit to the newsroom and get accountability and action where they need it. Oh, Outlier Media set up this text messaging platform to receive details about local issues. In addition to getting story tips, its reporters aim to get problems answered by calling the people responsible for responding to a variety of local issues, big and small, uneven sidewalks to property tax fraud. That's interesting too, because they might get some information that will lead them to a story idea or to an investigative piece.
Right. I wonder, well, right, but is Outlier Media feeding that back to the newsroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, in addition to getting story tips, its reporters aim to get problems answered. Okay. Oh, so it's almost like a shame on you. They like the local TV news used to like go in, like somebody would be like, "Oh my God, my landlord won't fix my ceiling," and then they'd go
Yeah.
in and then they, deal with it. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that because local news has largely fallen by the wayside, and everybody's, been separated into their little fiefdoms of interest and on social media that this is almost like a way to bring community accountability and resources back.
Yeah, it also says that it's helped the news organization build trust, which is
Right.
huge. So because they're responding within 48 hours to, answer questions from people dealing with everything from serious things like power blackouts in the middle of the summer to smaller stuff. It says Outlier Media is one of the thriving local news entities supported by the Knight Foundation, which helps local news companies figure out revenue and the back end side of their businesses to help them become self-sustaining. The foundation's VP of journalism, Jim Brady, oversees a $500 million effort to revitalize local news in the US. This is amazing.
And you can join the Outlier Collective and get member perks.
That is so cool.
By donating. You can join for free, actually, it says, but you can also, be a donor to help this grow, I'm sure, and get better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in New York, there's 311. I know that's not connected to a news organization, and it's not a news organization where this is.
I love that they're trying to figure out the revenue issue because obviously in our last episode, we talked about how journalism is kind of losing a lot of beats because they can't afford the full-time reporters for them. And that's obviously due to a lack of revenue. But if they're able to get more revenue by doing something like this and build trust, like that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that could save local news.
So they have newsletters to bring their accountability and service journalism straight to, the people who sign up for them. So the 4 newsletters are called Detour Detroit, that focuses on culture, community, and connection. The Dig, which focuses on development and housing in Detroit. Documenters, people-powered civic news, and Streetlight Detroit, safety, justice, and policing. I don't know if you could pull this off in New York. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. And they text the news to 8,000 people in Detroit each week through text messaging to provide them with valuable information about housing, utilities, and more. And then a lot of them end up asking a reporter to follow up with them, allowing them to ask questions and find answers. So this is really interesting because I think also so many people are overwhelmed by the amount of screen time and the amount of I think those news alerts that pop up on your phone now are probably the main way that most people are seeing the news, unless you're retired and sitting in front of CNN or Fox, depending on your leanings, right? Not to make fun of people doing that because I know them, but but at the same time, I think it's a really interesting way to get in front of people with local news and keep local news top of mind, and also remind them why it's still important because obviously just getting national news alerts isn't going to help you when it comes to street closings or neighborhood related issues that, might affect you and things like that, utility shutoffs. And I think this is very cool.
It just seems like a hard one to keep going just because of financial. But, Detroit is on a comeback for real this time.
Yeah, so go Detroit.
I've got
Put your hands up.
Michigan shirt on.
Put your hands
Not Detroit,
up.
but close.
Put your hands up for Detroit.
What's that?
You don't remember that old dance song?
No, but there's a lot of old industrial and technos from Detroit, so it makes sense.
Yeah, there was a great song I used to love. And it was like dun 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 dun. You don't know that song?
I don't think so.
Oh man. Okay. I'm finding it. One moment, please. I can't let this go. I used to DJ this song. It's called Put Your Hands Up for Detroit, and it's by Betty LeGrand.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up for Detroit. I love this city.
In 2006, it was a seminal electro track.
Right.
That brought LeGrand global attention. It was a massive hit in Europe. It reached number 1 in the UK, Spain, Russia, Scotland, Finland, and Bulgaria, and top 10 across the world.
Oh yeah, I could totally see this in like England and stuff.
Totally dating myself, by the way, but it was a big hit at some point. I guess should we move on to something more productive?
Like the horror story.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I love that the opening of the horror story is Dear April White and Laura Schooler.
Oh, our full names.
Yes, so it must be very formal.
I'm writing to ask how I can deal with a new workplace environment. Working at a small agency as an AC, and this is my first PR job after having internships in college. So I've been in some agencies before, but I was not working closely with other interns, just helping managers and more senior people. This is my first time working closely with people at my own job title level. There are 5 other ACs at this agency with me. I might just be self-conscious, but feels like we are literally competing with each other every day. My quote wins get compared directly to the placements other ACs have gotten recently, and my managers make a big deal about mentioning how many media hits each person has gotten that week when we have our all hands meetings. I have a list of personal goals between my manager and me, but the other ACs who've been here a little longer than me frequently talk/brag about which goals they have hit so far, and I feel a lot of pressure to share my own progress. We have lunch together a lot as a bonding thing, and even the CEO comes to those. I want to overcome these feelings of direct competition and just focus on myself, but maybe that is not how it works in the real world of PR. Do I have to do that to get ahead? I don't want to seem like a non-team player or whatever if I don't participate in norms, but it's really stressing me out. Thanks. Not normal, I guess. I definitely know what they're talking about. I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. And it's almost like this old school approach to using competition to motivate people, which motivates certain people and totally demotivates other people like this person. It also does not create a sense of team spirit at the agency. It's like almost like pitting people against each other to see who will rise to the top, which I find completely odious. I don't know if you've experienced that, but I have.
I haven't. Well, I have in my life, but I feel like it's sort of a distant memory, or it's not been up front and center. It's just very funny to me when they're talking about literally like your placements and how many media hits. It turns our profession into like this, I don't even know what, like completely not strategic, not connected, like cold calling sales, almost like the Wolf of Wall Street or like Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh yeah,
or something.
it's very much that same spirit. Yes.
And that's not what PR is. And it not only is it not what it is, but it certainly shouldn't be positioned that way, because that's a bad job.
It's not fun. Unless you're really highly competitive and that's your vibe. But I mean, it also is very
but then go sell something that makes huge money and make massive commissions. Don't do PR. Right?
It's a very sort of masculine approach too, which I think has trickled down from that old patriarchy where it's like,
yeah, but this seems so old school, right?
This is gonna get people it's like, no, it's not.
This seems so old school to me. I mean, the successes that I've had, recently, so in contemporary times with the media platform and the approaches that we have available to us now, has not been like this at all.
Right.
Again, I mean, if you're going to be a salesperson, go sell something that you make huge commissions on, Because you ain't going to make huge commissions on doing it in PR.
Media placements, yeah. Well, I mean, what's interesting is this person's asking, is this just how it works in the real world of PR? Yeah. Do I have to do that to get ahead? It sounds like at this agency you're at currently, probably you have to play the game.
Right.
So I would play the game until you've been there long enough to look for a new job. And then
start looking for a new job now, because
it's gonna take 4 years.
Long process, if not years. Yes.
Oh
But yeah,
my
that
goodness.
sucks. Like pitting, the junior people against each other and all. Oh God, it's like, I'm not in college anymore. I'm not in a sorority or like, can we be adults here? Apparently not.
Mm-hmm.
Yucky. Yeah, I would not be happy about this either.
No. I wouldn't. Yeah, and it's extra frustrating because, as everybody in PR knows, I mean, the hits you get are only somewhat in your control. Depends on the clients you have. It depends on, the stories that you're pitching. It's not necessarily a direct reflection of how good you are at PR.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, if you're good at PR, eventually you learn how to get a lot of media placements, but it's not like week over week comparing numbers is fair.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody was like, and also like, if you get, if you guys are splitting up the media list among one client and somebody gets like, the hotter context, then they're going to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so Glengarry Glen Ross, like,
Yeah.
steak knives.
Yeah.
I got the hot leads or whatever. Yeah.
Steak knives.
It's when Alec Baldwin was hot.
Okay, so the last thing we should probably leave this person with is some advice on options for how to manage the situation while they're still at the job, given that changing jobs in this economy is not necessarily an easy thing to accomplish.
Right. Well, that's why I said, if you're going to change jobs, like, start trying to get it now, because it'll take months, if not years, to actually get another job.
But in the meantime,
so where you are now,
yeah, what can they do now?
Oh God, read the news. Read. Whatever industries that your clients are in, read their trades, and then read the general news and read all of the like Morning Brew and the Hustle and what other ones? 1441. Are you aware of this? Quartz. And a lot of it, every morning these things come in and they're repetitive, but like then it sticks in your head what's like the important news of, the day and then the week and then the month is. And then all of a sudden you're somebody who knows what's going on in the news, and always look to see what reporters are writing these stories, because then their names start to stick in your head. And then you're like, oh wait, didn't Sue Smith write about, this, or it sounds like something she might be interested in. And then you will become a way sharper, better pitching machine, and at least you'll be getting the wins, and you'll just be a more knowledgeable human being and probably more confident when you're trying to eventually get another job.
Yeah, and I would add to that, I would set up Google alerts for all of your clients,
Yes.
the industries they're in, and see day over day who's covering those topics. Add to your media list if there's somebody that is writing about it that you don't already have on there. Reach out to them and say, hey, I loved
that right now myself, April.
I loved the article that you wrote today about blank, blank, blank. If you're ever covering this topic again, I'd love to introduce you to my client, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something you need to do too. And then the other thing I would add is, when you get those media placements, which you will, then you're gonna have to self-promote the hell out of yourself. So you get those wins, and then you make sure everybody and their mother knows that you're celebrating it and knows about the hits. So you can't be shot in this role. It's gross, but in this role, you can't be self-effacing or shy. Yeah. You're going to have to be a little bit, to play the game, you have to be a little bit self-congratulatory. And like, if you get to the point where if you can stomach it, if you find out you're getting the media hit or whatever, and it came through, celebrating at your desk, like, oh my God, I got it. I got the New York Times or whatever,
Right.
I think that kind of thing would be helpful too, just to make sure that you're in the horse race with the other ACs.
And then
until
you'll
you
have,
find a new
stuff to
job.
talk about when you're interviewing,
Mhm.
because you'll get asked the annoying question of who do you know and what stories have you placed, which are also dumb interview questions, but you'll
Yep.
have answers and you can stand by them.
And add them to your bio and blah, blah, blah.
And yeah, LinkedIn, your resume, whatever.
Yep. Well, I think that covers it. Should we wrap it up? Laura
Okay.
Schooler.
Thank you for tuning in to the PR Wind Down podcast, everyone.
Remember to submit your agency's stories and questions and share our show with your friends and colleagues. And if you subscribe and leave us a rating, it will also help us reach new listeners like you.
Can't
Can't
wait
wait to wind down
with
with
you
you again next
time.
time. I think that was okay.
Yeah.
Laura's like, no.
Hey, I'm going.
Okay, bye, Laura.
Bye. My other friend had a cat and its name was the Fur.
The Fur.
Yeah. That was good too.
Okay. I like that one too. That's crazy.
Get that kitty. Oh,
I know. He's the sweet, literally the sweetest thing. And he is so brave and he's decided to be friends with everybody. So he climbs on my giant dog and walks all over him, and there's one cat that at first didn't want to be his friend, but he endeared himself to him so much I noticed that he was cleaning the kitten while he was waiting for his dinner to get poured.
Oh my God.
While standing in the kitchen, and he's a grump. He doesn't like the other cat.
Might as well.
But this one's like, but I'm cute, love me, I want to be your friend, let's play. And he's like, shh. And then the kitten's like, I'm cute. It was it was almost like you could hear him go like, you bottom me, kid. And then the kitten's like, but I'm cute, I'm lovable.
Go on, kid, get out of here.
Listen to me. And then he's like, you bottom me. And then finally he's like, all right, fine, you're cute. I'll clean you while I'm waiting for my dinner. So cute.
Oh, kitties.